So hey, so today we're going to tackle this climbing rose. This is a Don Juan climbing rose. Has nice deep red flowers on it and it smells really good. We're going to clean up all the leftover winter growth. We're going to cut off all these leaves and put them in the garbage because they have black spot. What you're going to need: St. Patrick's Day green gloves, leather gloves, clean sharpened snippers. Use a little rubbing alcohol just to give them a little special cleaning. A sharpener if you need them to keep them sharp, 45-degree angle on the blade to give them a nice sharp edge. So check your pruners, make sure they're sharp and clean. We're just going to go over which ones you want to cut, what you want to let grow, and why you want to do that. So super excited to get this little rose guy all ready to go and cleaned up. It's a beautiful warm day out here. And yeah, it's starting to bud out really good everywhere. So we just really want to get this cleaned up so it can get growing. You need about up to 7 main stems, but the laterals are where you're going to get your flowers. So you want to always make sure you leave the main stems long. You don't need to cut them back. You need to trim up some of the laterals and take off all this kind of stuff. And you're going to want a bucket because you're going to want to take all these leaves that have disease like black spot or mildew and just get rid of them. Here's the top of the main stems. This rose is from last year, and so is this little bundle right up there. So I'm going to cut those roses off the ends and get it going for this year, but I'm going to leave them nice and long. I really want to encourage my rose to grow up and over this arbor. I want it to flower on top also. I might take 1 or 2 of my main canes and just bend them around the pillar, but I'm definitely going to let 1 or 2 grow straight up and then bend it over. When it gets tall enough, I'm going to bend it back and I will gently tie it in place where I want it. So if you're new to climbing roses, ask at the nursery where you go for one that's pliable, that you can bend, because you don't want to break the main canes. So, and some of them are stiffer than others, so you just want to check out which one you want to work with. So here's where I'm snipping, and this little bud, it's going to flower. Where most of these are growing, they're going to flower. So I'm not going to cut that off. So this old growth here, it's almost, I'm just going to trim this like right like that. Pretty much flush. Not quite, but you don't want to dig into anything that's too close to the stem there, but you're getting that off pretty well flush. And you can see there is a little tiny bud in there. Don't know if you can see it, so just be careful. Like, don't cut right into the stem. Some of it will just actually fall off because it's so dead. Like that one's just going to fall right off. The other ones, if you were, say if I were going to cut right here, so you want a 1/4 inch that and not hurt this bud that you can see, and just leave a little bit. Not too much, but about a 1/4 inch you should be good. Protect your hands and wear a coat. These guys scratch you up. So I'm just going to get started here. This is dyed at this end, so I'm going to take it back to this bud and a 1/4 inch. I'm just going to cut that. This one too. So this little stem here is broken. So whatever is broken, you need to cut off. Broken or diseased, dead, anything like that needs to be removed. So another thing I wanted to mention, when you tie this back, you want to just use something soft and keep it loose so it doesn't dig into the stem there. So just keep that in mind. You want to always be gentle with your stems. Make sure that you go around the ground at the bottom, the base of your rose, and take out all the old leaves here. Put them in the garbage. These have black spot, mildew spores, so yeah, I don't leave any of that behind. As much as I like leaf mulch, not that kind. Yeah, so you just want to clean up really good. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is untie all these little guys. Like so. Okay. Ow. Okay, I'm not sure what I want to do with that one, so I'm going to come on over here to take a look. So remember, you don't want anything that's going to cut into your stems. So when you're using twine, keep it loose and use something kind of soft on there so you don't wreck your stems. So one of the things we want to take a look at here is bending the main canes. Once they're bent, they're going to send out the lateral shoots, and that's where you're going to get your flowers from. So you want to bend them probably at a 45-degree angle. Horizontal is even better. This is the main, I think. This is the lateral. I might just leave it like that. So this is a really good time to go in, and anything that's dead or broken, like this one here, that needs to come off. Really want this one to get growing. I'm going to leave those. They're so small, but I need another main cane. This is a young climbing rose, so you don't want to cut it too much. Taking that one out. Just dying back. I'm going to bring this one. I'm going to start gently with tying this one around this way. Okay. Back here a little bit. I hope I'm not bending it too hard. I'm just going to show you this one main cane here. La la la. This is going to be a nice little lateral there, that little bud there. So I'm going to take this one off. And it's kind of growing into the shady area. So I'm going to leave those little buds here. You can see them. And here. That's dead. And coming up here, and here's the lateral coming away. But here you see it's dead there anyway, so I'm just going to snip it below that bud. There. And that's where you're going to get your flowers on those buds. And then I will gently start to wrap that around. Right up around that pole. This one here, it's already doing good. So we're just gonna tie that one that way. So because it's pretty young, yeah, I'm not gonna trim this very much. I'm gonna train it a little bit. These I'm gonna leave, and whichever one becomes the strongest main cane, that's when I'll start to work with. So here, I'm gonna see about maybe tying these around this way. What I'm gonna do is just trim it a smidgen. This one here, just going to tie it in. That. This one, see, this one is very weak in its growth here. think this one here, I kind of like that one growing up there. Okay. Okay, it's got some not doing too great right in here, so I'm just gonna snip that back. This piece is dead also. Cut that off. So this really tall one right here, I'm gonna let that grow up and over because I want some flowers up there. I might just let these ones down here fill in a little bit and see which ones want to become the main canes. It's pretty young. I'm not gonna cut it yet. I'm just gonna let it go wild, and then we'll decide. Because this is in a barrel, I'm just going to add a little bit of rose fertilizer here. And that's it. Oh, look at this. And here's another little main cane starting out there. Yay. So that's great. And another one here. So good, because it should have 6 to 7 main canes. But it's all cleaned up now. It's spreading out really nicely. And we're going to go take a look at one of my other climbing roses. So hey, let's go. So these ones going straight out to the front. I don't. This one here. I like to move. I come back this way. I can't do it with these. Cannot do it with those gloves on. Okay. So I just want to start pulling some of these. Okay. Try a bit lower up here. Now, I know the twine looks a little messy at first, but once it grows and fills in, I can cut it off probably and use less twine. We start pulling these guys back too. And then every so often I'll come out and tighten these up, and they'll start to grow more and more that way. Now, I'm going to pull this main cane back. So I'm going to cut this lateral. Okay, like that. Right here. I'm going to tie another one into it. Let's see. Okay. Oh. Just want to get it trained to start to come back this way. Right. I am going to pull this one back here also. I may end up cutting some of these off. But again, when they're young, it's best just to train them and let them grow. And just start training it back a bit more. Yep. Okay. This is going to come through here. And this. So, yeah, I'm going to cut it right there, and possibly. Okay, I think I'll clean it up a bit actually, because yeah, that's okay. Okay, that's it for now for that one. So on this one here, where we've bent the main canes to 45-degree angles, you can really see how the laterals, the little branches that just shoot out from there. So those are all going to flower, and we're just going to bend them around the top of this fence here and maybe into that lattice. Now this one, we did manage to get some long canes up to the second level. That's what we want. And we're just going to let them at a 45-degree angle wrap right around the front of the balcony. Now I just need to deadhead those, and they're pretty cleaned up from the beginning of last winter. I already cleaned them up a bit. So we're just going to let that fill in. And we'll put up a picture of how it looked last year, and hopefully this year it's even fuller. So that's about it for our little rose pruning, rose training, more like it, because they're all still quite young here. From our last place, I'll put up a little picture of one of our other climbing roses. You can see how I kind of pruned it around, got lots of flowers. And yeah, I'm just going to do the same with these ones, but I like to let these grow in a little bit more before I get too crazy with pruning them. I have 4 climbing roses in total, but because this is fairly new yard for us, they're all young, still quite young, so we're just cleaning them up mostly and getting them trained. So yeah, so hey, so don't forget to train up your little climbing rose, and we'll catch you on the next one.